What is up everyone, how's it going? Hope you're keeping well and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. We're straight into the thick of it now. 7 deadlines over the month of December. That means 7 YouTube videos, 7 deadline streams and 7 captaincy videos all coming your way this month. Before I get into today's video, 70% of my viewers aren't actually subscribed to the channel. So if you are watching this and you're not subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button below. We're currently on the road to 5k subs, trying to get there before Christmas. We're just 250 subs off hitting this milestone, so if you are watching this and you're not subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button below. In today's video, I'll be showing you how I fared out in Game Week 13, and we'll also be looking at my transfer plans and team selection ahead of Game Week 14. Stick around also towards the end of the video, where I'll be heading to Boyle Celtic in County Roscommon for my weekly captaincy video. It's a tough one between Mo Salah and Erling Haaland this week, so stick around to see who I pick. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. So a quick look back to Game Week 13, in a week where I knew points were going to be scarce with all the big teams playing each other last week. I scored 47 points for the week, which wasn't a bad score. Looking back to the early kickoff, our captain Erling Haaland started the game week off to a flyer with City's only goal, where he came away with 14 points from the airband. It could have been a lot more, as he was on 2 bonus points up until the last minute when City got a corner and Erling Haaland got his head to the ball, but the ball just went wide, and this miss brought him down to 1 bonus point, so it was 14 points he came away with from the game. Mo Salah also picked himself up a return when he set up Trent Alexander-Arnold for Liverpool's equaliser, so he came away with an assist and 5 points from the game. 2 returns in a game that only had 2 goals wasn't a bad start to the game week. Let's see how the rest of the players got on. The 3 PM games didn't have much to shout about, as Areola lost his clean sheet once again, Guehi lost his clean sheet rather disappointingly to Luton, and Palmer drew a blank as Newcastle thumped Chelsea. That Areola clean sheet wipeout means he hasn't got a clean sheet since I brought him in on my wildcard in Game Week 8, and West Ham have only kept 1 clean sheet all season. These kind of stats are making me think, should I be using a transfer on a goalkeeper over the coming weeks, so that's something I definitely need to think about. The transfer in of Cole Palmer was a disappointing one, as I expected him to do well against a tired Newcastle defence, but it went the polar opposite as Newcastle ran riot. Chelsea are up against Brighton now in Game Week 14, so I'll be expecting Palmer to get on the score sheet against a tired Brighton defence, as Brighton would have played on Thursday night in Europe. Moving on to the late kickoff on Saturday, my transfer in of Saliba paid off massively as he picked himself up 6 points after Arsenal got themselves a clean sheet. I've Declan Rice to thank for these 6 points, as Aaron Ramsdale made a howler and MBEUMO really should have scored, but Rice cleared it off the line. This could have been a massive swing in points, as I didn't own MBEUMO last week, so I'm very thankful to Rice for making that clearance. Bukayo Saka set up Kai Havertz for Arsenal's winner late on, and that meant he picked himself up 2 bonus points, so he came away with 8 points from the game. That return against Brentford now means he's only blanked twice all season, so it's a crazy stat from the star boy. If you don't have him in your team, I'd advise getting him in over the busy Christmas period. Game Week 13 came to a disappointing end on Sunday, as Ollie Watkins was the only player to return in the Villa and Spurs game when I had 4 players involved. I was expecting a lot, especially when I saw the lineups to see Matty Cash starting at right wing, but he picked himself up an early yellow card in the first half, and himself and the Abbey were hauled off at half time for a very, very disappointing 1 point between the two of them. Heung-Min Son captainers were extremely unlucky, as he somehow scored 3 offside goals and somehow missed out on a massive haul. He also set up Kulusevski earlier on when he should have scored, and there was also a few other occasions that Spurs should have scored from when Son set up the chances. There's a few question marks now from FPL managers about whether or not we should be selling Son with the City game up next in Game Week 14, but we'll chat about that later on in the video. I had no players involved in the Monday night game, so I managed to finish the game week off with 47 points. 47 points was an okay score, not the best, not the worst, it was just above average, but unfortunately I managed a small red arrow and I'm now sitting at 506k overall. As I said earlier on at the start of the video, we've now 7 game weeks over the month of December, so it's really make or break for my season ahead. Hopefully now, with a green streak of arrows over the coming weeks, I'll be close to the top 100k just before the end of the year, so let's see how I fare out over the course of the month. Right then, that's the Game Week 13 review out of the way. Let's move on and start planning ahead for Game Week 14. So before I get into my own Game Week 14 team selection, let's have a quick look at the clean sheet odds ahead of the weekend's games. Arsenal top the charts with their home fixture against Wolves, so it's good news for myself as a Saliba owner, and if you are considering the double up, there's nothing wrong with that, with some good fixtures for Arsenal over the coming weeks, and they're also ranked first for clean sheets this season. I'm also enjoying seeing Liverpool ranked second with their home fixture against Fulham, so after I benched Tsimikas last week for the City game, I'll be bringing him back into my team, and hopefully he can get another haul like he did in Game Week 12. Rather surprisingly, Burnley ranked 5th for the chance of a clean sheet this weekend with their fixture against Sheffield United, so as a Charlie Taylor owner, I may need to consider whether or not to play him this weekend. With that news of Burnley ranking 5th for the chance of a clean sheet, I've got a decision to make on who's going to earn my third defender slot with a tough fixture for Villa away to Bournemouth and an even tougher fixture for Crystal Palace away to West Ham. We'll chat about that later on in the video when I'm picking my Game Week 14 team, but for now, let's move on and have a look at the predicted points for the weekend. There's no surprise to see Mo Salah and Erling Haaland join first for predicted points this weekend, with Salah at home to Fulham and Haaland away to Spurs. In these two games, I'm expecting a lot of goals. MBEUMO is ranked 3rd for predicted points this weekend with his home fixture against Luton, so FPL managers will be hoping he can get on the score sheet after he just missed out against Arsenal last weekend. Looking at MBEUMO ranked 3rd is making me think I need to get him in this week, but we'll chat about that later on in the video. Saka completes the top 4 with a predicted point score of 6.6 points, so hopefully he can get another return and continue his consistent run of form. It's also good to see Cole Palmer make the top 10 after he blanked last week against Newcastle, so as I said earlier on the video, I'll be hoping for a return against a tired Brighton defence. So carrying on from last week, we're continuing with our viewer questions segment, and on screen here are the top 5 most common questions I've been asked between Twitter and Instagram this week. After his blank in Game Week 13 against Villa and City up next down Game Week 14 for Son, a lot of managers are questioning what to do with him. All I can say is definitely keep him. The City fixture this weekend is one that Son could easily score, and he's a decent record against them, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him on the score sheet. Spurs have also a nice run of fixtures over the Christmas period, seeing them face Forest, Everton, Brighton and Bournemouth up until the new year, and with Son potentially being on penalties, I'd definitely keep him. It was very disappointing to see Cash and Diaby hauled off at half time against Spurs at the weekend, so if you got the Villa triple up like myself, you'll be asking yourself what you should do with them. If you've got Diaby in your team, I'd definitely be looking at getting rid of him and bringing in MBEUMO with Brentford up against Luton at home this weekend. If you've got 2 free transfers this weekend, I'd definitely recommend getting rid of Cash and bringing in an extra Arsenal defender, or one if you don't have one already, and get some of their defensive cover. Ollie Watkins is the only man worth keeping from the Villa team, and he'll be staying in my team over the festive period. After returning from injury at the weekend, Eze only managed to play 48 minutes against Luton, and he's now set to be sidelined for the next 3 or 4 weeks, so if you're in the market for an Eze replacement, MBEUMO is your man. If you haven't enough for MBEUMO, I'd be looking at Cole Palmer with a nice run of fixtures for Chelsea over the Christmas period. I'll be expecting returns from Palmer here. Alisson also picked up an injury against City at the weekend, and he's now set to be sidelined until the middle of December, so I've got a lot of DMs asking me this week about whether or not Kelleher is an option. He's priced at 3.9 million, so he's definitely a bargain buy, and Liverpool have a decent run of fixtures over the next few that see them play Fulham, Crystal Palace and Sheffield until the middle of December. So if you've got 2 free transfers, or if you've got no other issues with your team, Kelleher definitely isn't a bad shout, but I definitely wouldn't be taking any hits to get Kelleher in. There's a big debate around the captaincy pick this weekend, with Salah at home to Fulham and Haaland away to Spurs. I'm expecting both players to do well, and we should see some returns from the 2 of them, but getting the captaincy pick right is definitely a must this weekend. It's going to be a close call between the pair, but we'll chat about my pick later on in the video. So shifting the focus back to my own team ahead of the Game Week 14 deadline, MBEUMO has come into the team and Diaby has made way. Diaby has been a disappointment over the last couple of game weeks, and I brought in MBEUMO with that fixture at home to Luton this weekend, so hopefully he can get some returns. I also made the move on Monday night because MBEUMO is going to rise in price, so getting him before he rose in price to 7 million was another little added bonus, and that's why I was pushed into making the transfer. So with MBEUMO making his way into the starting 11, my team is well set up for the weekend's games, with 8 out of my starting 11 players all playing at home, so hopefully we can see some good returns over the weekend's games. The only real main decision I have to make is on my third defender slot, but Cash earns a spot there for now, but Guehi and Taylor on the bench could easily make their way into the team, so I'll have to decide on that before the deadline. I still have the captaincy pick to decide on, so that's between Salah and Haaland, so let's head to Boyle Celtic in County Roscommon and see who I'm captaining this week.
Salah for the Ironman.
So Salah gets the armband for now, and this decision could go down to the wire. Haaland could easily get the armband also, but I'll need to decide just before the deadline. But as of now, my fate is in the Egyptian King, and Salah gets the armband. I want to say a quick shout out and a big thanks to Boyle Celtic in County Roscommon for letting me use their new facilities at the weekend to film this week's captaincy's video. If you've made it to the end of the video, please give it a like, drop a comment below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's hit a like goal of 60 likes on this video. We're also on the road to 5k subs, so if you are still watching this and you're not subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button below. We've got a busy month of content coming up with 7 YouTube videos, 7 deadline streams and 7 captaincy videos, so if you are still watching this and you want to support the channel, please do hit that subscribe button and give me the motivation to get all this done for you this month. I'll see you all on Saturday afternoon for a deadline stream. We've got a late kick-off with the first kick-off at 3 p.m. So I'll see you at a later time of around 12 p.m. and we'll get the deadline stream started then. There you have it. There's my Game Week 14 team. Best of luck for Game Week 14. I'll see you in the next video.